Welcome to Habits Unplugged. This video is about the question, will I lose friends if I stop drinking alcohol? And so I don't waste your time, this advice is for people who want to stop drinking alcohol and use it as a springboard to grow in their lives, right? I'm Kevin O'Hara, owner of habitsfeed2.com. If you don't know me, we coach people to tap into their potential for growth instead of tapping out with alcohol. Now, first of all, I think you have to ask yourself, where do you want to end up in this life? Who do you want to be? I struggled with so many of these questions when I stopped drinking 11 years ago. What kind of a person do I want to become? What kind of a life do I want to live? What kind of relationships do I want to have? What do I want to do for the rest of my life? Where do I want to go? What do I want to become? Right? How do I want to get there? These are all relevant questions, and I think in the beginning, the question that got me to stop drinking alcohol, that gave me the emotional boot up the arse to stop drinking alcohol, was what kind of a dad I saw myself in that moment, and what kind of dad I wanted to become in the long term. I look at my friendships through that lens of obviously where I am after 11 years of not drinking alcohol, and I look at them through that. I always have to look at them through the lens of personal growth, right? How does this affect my growth? How does this affect my family more than anything else, right? How does it affect the consistent positive outcomes that I want in my life, the consistent positive outcomes that I want to give my family in my life, right? And the truth is, I spent most of my adult life with my friends were my drinking buddies, right? And if I'm being honest, I don't need buddies anymore. I don't need mates, and I don't need friends. I want to be around people who are a good influence on me, right, in a positive way. People who are helping me to grow in the direction that I want to go in my life, to achieve those positive, consistent outcomes. You know, to get any positive, consistent outcomes in this life, you've got to have strong processes. And one of those processes, unfortunately, is surrounding yourself, or fortunately, surrounding yourself with people who are on your side, who are also in the process of growing themselves, right? Now, if you're finding this stuff helpful, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Now, look, for me, it comes down to that original motivation of mine. What kind of a father do I want to be in this life? What kind of an influence do I want to have on my son? What kind of a grandfather do I want to be? What kind of an influence do I want to have on my granddaughter or future grandchildren? You know, I think that is it's a really good measuring stick for me. Let's put it like that. Now, when I was drinking, I was choosing my drinking buddies over my son. And I wasn't doing it intentionally. It wasn't like I was thinking, or I was saying to myself, I'd rather be with my friends than my son. Or, you know, my friends are more important to me than my son. But actions speak louder than words. And all choices, every choice that you make comes with a trade-off. There's no such thing as solutions in life. There is only trade-offs. You know, and everyone is influenced in one way or another by the people that they associate with. And, you know, those people can be a massive influence on your life. You know, I think about all the things that I've done because of peer pressure, because I didn't want to look like an idiot in front of my mates. You know, I didn't want to look like a pussy. I didn't want to, you know, all of that stupid stuff that makes no difference in your life, that drags you backwards or keeps you where you are. And, you know, this inevitably impacts all of your life, every area of your life. You know, all those years I was a drinker. I was also should have been in that role model of, in the role model for my son. That was, you know, he was looking up to me. He was looking up to me for guidance. And that was what I was doing, unfortunately. But, you know, what I'm saying is, that when you stop drinking, you have a choice of the direction that you want to go, right? The outcomes that you want to get to, and the message that you want to send out to other people about yourself. And who you spend time with influences you and influences how you think and how you act. You know, when I was younger, I used to be so impressed by the amount of alcohol that, you know, a couple of my mates could drink, right? Youthful mind, deluded mind. As an adult, I sat for hours listening in pubs, listening to shite that was talked by other people. I was talking shite as well, so. But all that stuff gets absorbed. And all that stuff that you absorb into your mind, all that stuff, that nonsense that you're putting inside of your brain, it has an influence on you one way or another. So like I said earlier, I'm not looking for buddies. I'm not looking for mates. I'm not looking for friends even, right? And I know that might sound harsh, but that's the truth. And each one of those things comes with a preconceived notion in my mind about, you know, what is a friend, what is a buddy, what is a mate. It's those people that I sit in a pub with and talk shite about, or talk shite with. Sometimes if you get drunk, you're talking shite about people as well. I have an unconscious bias, if you like, for what a friend or a mate should be like. And that unconscious bias then is formed, or was formed, when I was a drinker and about drinking stuff. So you get rid of the drinker's mind, you get rid of the drinker's identity, you have to get rid of that part of it as well. I'm not looking for people to laugh and joke with. I'm not looking for comedians in my life. I'm not looking for people to entertain me or to massage my ego or any of that bollocks. I'm looking for inspiration, good role models, people who have a growth mindset, who take pride in being responsible and in control and focused on getting the best outcomes that they can have for themselves and for their families. You know, when you associate with people like that, look, anybody that you associate with, you're reinforcing a mindset in yourself. So reinforcing or associating with people who are of that growth mindset, who want the best for themselves and their family, you reinforce that same mindset in yourself, and it encourages you to follow along those same paths. You know, I admire and I want to be around people who put their families first, right? You know, I admire and want to be around people who are ready and willing to hold a mirror up to themselves and take responsibility for everything about themselves, right? For every part of their lives, right? They don't blame other people for things. If you want to use stopping drinking alcohol as one of the biggest windows of opportunity to grow your health, your relationships and your wealth, go to habitsv2.com. So let me give you a quick example of what I'm talking about. I've coached a lot of blokes who were cops and firemen and Marines, and I really admire that Marine ethos. You know, they know how to have someone's back. The Marine Corps have this motto, and it's Semper Fidelis, and it means always faithful. You know, there's a lot of problems that come with that kind of a job, you know, being a cop, being a fireman, being a Marine especially, a lot of psychological problems for those people. And, you know, some of them use alcohol or other drugs as an escape. But I'm telling you, they are such a pleasure to work with, because they know the value of following a plan. They all have a great work ethic built into them, and they've got this inbuilt commitment to putting up a fight for themselves and for those around them. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, people who inspire, who encourage, who provoke you to look for the best in yourself, to seek out the best in your life. And why not? You know, why not seek out those people who can improve you? You know, if you find these people in your life, these are the people that can hold you accountable for yourself, who actively encourage you to grow, who can help you to nurture yourself. They're going to become your best friends. You know, they'll become the best friends that you will ever have in your life. And you're not seeking them out because you want friends, right? Or mates or buddies, right? You're seeking out people who can help you and you can help them. And in time, you become that person. Right? This is one of the beauties of stopping drinking alcohol from the perspective of screw looking at the stuff that is holding you back, like the cravings, and, you know, focusing on that rubbish, the discomfort, but looking at what do you want out of life? What are the long-term the long-term positive, consistent outcomes that you want in life. When you start to focus on those things in your life and you start to build those things in your life, you become that person, right? So I just want you to remember that it's not about how hard you row the boat, it's what boat you are in the first place. You know, the people you surround yourself, you know, they're the people that can bring you to places that you can't get on your own, right? You have to be with the right people for that to happen. There's a great book by Dale Carnegie called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And he talks about friendships in that, and he talks about it from the perspective of people who are a positive influence in your life, people who are quite willing to give you constructive feedback, people who are willing to give you encouragement and support, people who have shared goals and shared values, people who are willing to hold you accountable, right? And also people who have different perspectives. I think that's important. You know, we're very, it seems to be very polarized in today's society. So to have people from different backgrounds and different viewpoints, different political viewpoints, different religious viewpoints, if you can open your mind to these things, then they expand your horizons instead of closing you in, right? And the last thing he talked about was having role models and mentors. So your question shouldn't be not will I lose friends if I stop drinking alcohol, but which friends am I going to keep? You know, this is in your control, right? You're in control of this whole situation once you stop drinking alcohol. Once you're focusing your mind on where you're going to be in your life, you're putting yourself in such a strong position. For a start, by stopping poisoning yourself, putting this poison into your body. I hope you can see that. Not only do you have the opportunity to grow as a person, to become what you want to be, you have the opportunity to become the person other people admire and the person that other people want to emulate in life. You know, that's a great place to be, because you become the role model, you become the mentor, you build goals and values for yourself that other people want to share in, right? You know, so you have to ask yourself in terms of friendships, the friendships that you have now already, are these friends going to help you to grow, right? Are these friends more aligned with your old life, that old drinking self, or are they aligned with the new person that you want to be? Because if they're not aligned with that new person, you know, it's an easy choice, and it's a choice that you should be able to make fairly simply and fairly early on in this journey, right? So there's an opportunity here for growth beyond anything that you could have imagined when you were trapped in the drinker's mind. All right, so I hope you got something out of that video. Take good care of yourself. Keep the alcohol out of your mouth. Let's go onwards and upwards, eh? Aim towards something good in your life and you'll get there. Take care of yourself. Bye now.